Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss one new data structure called graph ADT and two problems which is relating to tree concept will be discussed. We wish to discuss graph data structure which is a non-linear data structure. As you know already, tree form a hierarchy. It has a parent-child relationship, but graph forms a network. It is extremely useful in modeling problems. It consists of two basic elements, vertices and edges. And so this is the example graph which has two basic elements, vertices and edges. Vertices can be considered as sites or locations. Edges can represent connections. It is used to associate two vertices. Applications of graph. Example is air flight system. We have several cities which is connected by using airline. Each vertex, that is circle element, represents a city. Each edge represents a direct flight between two cities. A query on direct flights becomes a query on whether an edge exists or not. For example, if there is a direct connection between Cairo and Bahrain means, so there is a direct connections available. Okay, so it has a query on how to get to a location is, does a path exist from A to B? For example, there is no direct connection between London and Hong Kong, but through path, that is London followed by Paris followed by Hong Kong, you can reach. Okay, so you can get a location by using the query, does a path exist from A to B? We can even associate cost to edges. It is also called as weighted graph. When you assign cost to edges, that graph will be called as a weighted graph. You can ask, what is the cheapest path from A to B? For reaching London to Hong Kong, what is the shortest path? There are two paths here, I think so. Many paths, I can name two paths. London, Beijing, followed by Hong Kong. There is one path. Another path, London, Paris, followed by Hong Kong. So we need to answer the query answer for the query. What is the shortest path between the London and Hong Kong? Okay. So this is one of the application. Another application is wireless communication. Okay. So it can be represented by a weighted complete graph, wherein every two vertices are connected by an edge. Each edge represents the Euclidean distance, that is between the two stations. Okay. Each station uses a certain power I to transmit messages. Okay. Given this power I, only a few nodes can be reached. Okay. A station reachable by I then use its own power to relay the messages to other stations not reachable by I. A typical wireless communication problem is how to broadcast between all stations such that they are all connected and power consumption is minimized. It is a typical problem which is corresponding to wireless communication, which makes use of graph. Okay, the definition for a graph. I name one type of a graph, undirected graph. A undirected graph is specified by an order pair V, E, where V is a set of vertices and E is a set of edges. This is the example for undirected graph, which has 6 nodes. Here V are A, B, C, D, E, F, and edges are A, B, then A to C, then B to D, C to D, B to E, C to F, and E to F. These are the edge elements, edge set. This is one kind of graph. It has by undirected graph. It has a bidirectional collection. Okay. Terminology which is relating to graph. If V1 and V2 are connected, they are said to be adjacent vertices. For example, there are two vectors V1 and V2. If it is connected means V1 is adjacent to V2. Similar way, V2 is adjacent to V1. V1 and V2 are the endpoints of the edge V1 and V2. If an edge E is connected to V, then V is said to be incident on E. If an edge is connected to V, then V is incident on E. Also, edge E is said to be incident on V. V1, V2 in a under diagram, V1, V2 equal to V2, V1. Okay. But in a director graph, this is not true. Okay. So A here I have a director graph A and B. This A, B is true, but B, A is not true for the director graph. This is true for undirected graph. Graph representation. There are two popular computer representations of a graph. There is the way to represent the graph data in a memory. Both represent the vertex set and the edge set, but in different ways. One type is adjacency matrix. By using adjacency matrix, we can represent the graph data in a memory. We can use two-dimensional matrix to represent the graph. Second representation, way of representation is adjacency list. By using 1D array of one-dimensional array of linked list, we can represent a graph. First one uses array, second part uses linked list. Okay, these are the ways of representing the graph in a memory. Let's start with the first example, adjacency matrix. Consider we have 5 nodes in a graph. Here B is a forest because which is not connected to any node in the graph. For example, I have a connection. This is undirected graph. I have a connection from A to C. A to C means I will have a value 1. Okay. I have a connection A to D. So A to D will be 1. I have a connection with A to E. So A to E will be 1. B is not connected to any node, no. So all the nodes are set to 0. Okay. In a similar way, C is connected to A. So C to A, I have 1. If there is a connection between the node means just set the value 1. Other way, set the value 0. This is the way of representing the adjacency matrix. Actually, 2D array A of ranging from 0, row ranging from 0 to n minus 1 and column ranging from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the number of vertices in the graph. Each row and column is indexed by the vertex ID. Example, A equal to 0, B equal to 1, C equal to 2, D equal to 3, and E equal to 4. An array entry A of ij is equal to 1 if there is a edge connecting the vertices I and j. Otherwise, A of ij equal to 0. The storage requirement is order of n squared because for representing n vertices, we need n squared spaces. Not efficient if the graph has few edges. For example, if you have a graph which has several nodes but it has only few edges, means this representation will not be efficient. We can detect order of one time whether two vertices are connected. Okay, if two vertices are connected by using the order of one running time, okay, in a matrix, constant running time. Another representation, adjacent list. I already told that this makes use of array of linked list. Okay, for example, here I have 5 nodes or 5 vertices in a graph. Okay, which is represent array of linked list. Okay, first list address position represents node A, second one B, third one C, fourth one D, and fifth one E. If A is connected to C, E, D, that is represented in a array of linked list. Okay, so in the 8th position, we have a connection. It is A to C connected, no, just represent C. The A to D is connected, no, represent D. A to E is connected, no, so just represent insert E. So we can associate one node to another node and represent in a memory by using the adjacent list. In B, we don't have any connection with other nodes, no, just simply leave it. Okay, it has no representation, memory allocation and all. C is connected to A and C is connected to E, no, so just attach with the C position. Okay, a similar way we can represent other nodes. The adjacent list is a array of linked list where n is the number of vertices in the graph. Each array entry is indexed by the vertex ID, as with adjacent matrix. The list AFI stores the IDs of the vertices adjacent to I. Node which the node the set of nodes which is adjacent to particular node is attached in the linked list. That's all. This is efficient when compared to the array based representation. This is adjacent matrix. If graph is sparse graph means it is graph. If the graph contains only few edges means we can use adjacent list. Otherwise we can use adjacent matrix. Example, okay, this is a graph which has 10 nodes. For example, I have a connection 0 connected with 8, so I have 1, and this 8 is connected with the 2, 0, 9. So 8 is 0, 2, 9. In a similar, we can represent adjacent matrix. We can represent the graph by using adjacent matrix in a memory. Okay. So for representing 10 nodes, we need 10 into 10 memory blocks. This is similar representation. There is memory representation by using the linked list. For example, 0 is connected with 8 now, linked here. 8 is connected with 2 and 9 now, 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. Similarly, you can represent. Very easy. For example, 1 is connected with 2, 9, 7, 3 no, 2, 9, 7, 3. Okay, this is efficient representation. Storage of adjacent list. The array takes array of linked list takes order of one space. Okay, and we have further definitions. Define degree of V. Degree of V is the number of edges incident to V. Then the total space to store the graph is proportional to degree of V. Okay, degree of V, degree of a particular vertex is the number of edges that is incident to V. Okay. An edge E, U, V of the graph contributes to a count of 1 to degree of U and contributes to the count of 1 to degree of V. Okay. So the edge U, V contributes the count of degree 1 to U and degree 1 to V. Okay. Therefore, the summation of vertex V degree of V is 2m, where m is the total number of edges. Okay. If you have m edges means the degree of all the nodes in a graph is total number of degree of all the nodes in graph is 2m. In all adjacent list takes up order of n plus m space. If m equal to order of n square, both adjacent matrix and the adjacent list use order of n square space. If m equal to order of n, adjacent list outperform adjacent matrix. Okay. It means that if you use if you have sparse matrix means use adjacent list. If you have dense matrix means use adjacent matrix. If you have dense graph means use adjacent matrix. However, you cannot tell order of one time whether two vertices are connected. Okay. In a linked list, we cannot tell whether the one node is connected with another node in order of n time. Okay, it takes more amount of time. But it is not the case for order of, that is adjacent matrix. Adjacent list versus adjacent matrix. I need to compare adjacent list with adjacent matrix. In adjacent list, more compact than adjacent matrices if the graph has few edges. Okay, requires more time to find a edge exists. Okay. So this is adjacent matrix, adjacent list. It is more compact than adjacent matrix. If graph has few edges, it requires more time to find the edges. In adjacent matrix, it requires order of n square spaces. There is n square space. This can verse a lot of space if the number of edges are sparse. Can quickly find an edge exist. Okay, both has advantages as well as disadvantages. Next one is path between the vertices. A path is a sequence of vertices v1, v0, v1 up to vk such that I is in between 0 to k B of I, comma B of I plus 1 is an edge. For 0, for I ranging from 0 to k minus 1, Bi is not equal to B of I plus 2. That is, the edge Bi, comma Bi plus 1 is not equal to Bi plus 1, comma Bi plus 2. Okay. A path is allowed to go through the same vertex at the same edge any number of times. Okay, there is a path. Okay, you can traverse more number of times. The length of a path is a number of edges on the path. That is the length of the path. Type of path. The path may be simple if and only if it does not contain vertex more than one. A path is simple if and only if it does not contain a vertex more than one. A path is cycle if and only if v suffix 0 equal to v suffix k. It is beginning of the vertex and the end of the vertex are the same. Okay. If it is same means that path will be called as a cyclic path. A path contains cycle if some vertex appears twice or more. For example, you have to answer my question. Are these paths or any cycle? What is the path length? Okay. So, for example, we have a vertex set, path set A followed by C, followed by F, followed by E. So, these are path. Okay. The path length is 1, 2, 3. Okay. Number of edges, no? 1, 2, 3. Okay. This does not form a cycle. Okay. This path only. This one is path only. Next question. A, B, D, C, F, E. So you need to identify whether these are paths or cycle or what is path length. A to B, B to D, D to C, C to F, F to E. So these are the path only. Okay, the path length is A, B, D, C, okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Path length is 5. Next one, for this set, okay, we need to identify. We need to check the path, whether it is a path or cycle and what is path length. A to C, C to D to D to B, then B to D again, then C, then F, then E. A to C, C to D, D to B, B to D again, C, F, E. That's not a form a cycle, but thing is, it forms a path. Okay, more than one times. Same edge can be visited more than one time. Okay, we need to find the path length. No, A to C1, C to D2, D to B3, D to D4, D to C5, C to F6, F to E7. So path length is 7. Okay. For A, C, D, B, A, for A, C, D, B, A, these form a cycle because starting vertex A and ending vertex A both are same. A, C, D, B, A. These are the path only and it has a cycle. The path length is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. Okay. And fifth one is ACFE, BDCA. A, C, F, E, B, D, C, A. It has a cycle. Okay. These are the path only. Okay. And the path length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Path length is 7. In this way, we can check whether it has a path, cycle, and path length. Next thing is traversal method. Traversal means visiting all the vertices in a graph. Like tree, in a tree, we have discussed traversal methods, no? In order, pre-order, post-order, and level order traversal. No? In similar way, graph we have a traversal method, that is visiting all the vertices in a graph. The application example is, given a graph representation and vertex S in the graph, find all paths from S to other vertices. This is the problem. For solving this problem, we need graph traversal method. Okay, find all paths from S to other vertices. Two common traversal algorithms are available. One is breadth first search algorithm. It finds the shortest path in an unweighted graph. It is used to find the shortest path in an unweighted graph. And depth first search. Okay, the application for depth first search is topological sorting method and finding the strongly connected components. Okay, we will discuss these traversal methods in next class. Okay, for finding the first breadth first search, for implementing the breadth first search algorithm, we use queue data structure. Okay, for solving the depth first search algorithm, we use stack data structure. Okay, please remember, for BFS we use queue data structure, for DFS we use stack data structure. Okay, so I wish to discuss some problems relating to tree. First problem is finding the height of a tree. So height of a tree is the number of nodes along the longest path from the root node down to the farthest leaf node. For example, here the node which has highest depth is 6 or 7. Okay, the height of the tree is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this can be identified, okay, by using this recursive algorithm. The height of a tree is the depth of the maximum depth of a particular node. Maximum depth of a particular node is 6, 3. For 6 also we have height 3, that is depth 3. For 7 also we have depth 3. Okay, so this can be identified by using the recursive algorithm. So here in height function, we pass the address of the root, that is starting address of the tree, that is root node address. We are passing root node address, and it returns the height in as an integer value. If node is null, means it means that we have no element in a tree. It means that the height is 0. Okay, so if node is null or tree is empty, means just return null. Else, we need to identify the left height by traversing to the left. Okay, so for the purpose we are passing the address of the left subtree, and also we are passing the address of the right subtree. Okay, we are finding the left height and finding the right height. Okay, if left height is greater than the right height, means just return the left height plus 1. Otherwise, return the right height plus 1. Okay, so for this example, so here passing this address of the left node, the address of the right node. Okay, here I am passing the address of the left node to the same height function. Okay, recursively it processes this tree subtree, and that is this function, second function, calls the process the right subtree. Okay, this first height calls process the left subtree, second height function process the right subtree. Okay, this right subtree process will return the value 1. Okay, left subtree process will return the value 2. Okay, so we need to identify the maximum height. No, so for the purpose we are comparing. So if left height is greater than right height, return the left height plus 1. Otherwise, return the right height plus 1. Okay, So for after processing, the left gate will be the height. So here number of edges is 1, 2, and 3. Here number of that is number of edges is 1. So which one is high? Left height only high, no? So it just return the left height value. That will be considered as a height of a tree. Finally, it will return height value as 3. Okay. Next one is leveler traversal. In leveler traversal, we are printing the data at every level. Here, leveler traversal for the leveler traversal output is 1 followed by 2 followed by 3, then 4 followed by 3, then followed by 5 followed by 6, then finally 7. Okay. So we are printing the data at level wise. For printing the data in level wise, we need to identify the height first. Then we can select first level, second level, third level, and fourth level data. Okay. So this is the function which is used to print the data in level order, which accepts the root node address, and first it finds the height by passing the root node address. After returning the height, just use the loop, okay, to print the data at each level. Okay, we starting from 1 and ending with the height I plus plus, then pass the root node address and the level address. For first level, we have one now. Okay, that is printed by calling this function. Okay, consider we are passing the root node and trying to print the data as first level. Okay, it will call this function, first function, root node address pass, and level value is 1. If root is null means it will return nothing. If level is 1 means just print the data. Okay, at the first call it print the data 1. Okay, after printing the data, it will immediately come out of the loop. Next, we are using the loop for the second time. We are iterating for the second time. Now I equal to 2. Okay, so a print given level is called by passing the root node address, comma I equal to 2. Okay, now this function comes. The root value is starting address of the that is 3, and the level is 2. If root null means it will return nothing. If level is 1 means it will return the data, but level is not 1. Level is greater than 1 now. So it recursively call the same function by passing the root of left and root of right. See here, root of left is passed, root of right is passed. When passing this value, we are decrementing the level by 1. Already level equal to 2 no. Now level minus 1, 2 minus 1, 1 comes. Here also 1 comes. So here for this function, print level function, the root node is left subtree. Okay, for the second function, the root node is 3. Okay, it recursively calls no. After calling recursively, again comes for root of left, address of root node, that is this node, address of this node printer, and address of this node printer. Again this node, again traverse. Okay, it take next level, print the 4, 5, then takes next level, print 6 and 7. This way we can recursively call the print given level function to display the data at each level. Okay, so for printing the data in level order, we need to call the function height. Okay, and start from 1 and ending with the height. We call the print given level. This print given level function recursively called, okay, if level greater than 1. If level equal to 1 means just print the data. If root equal to null means just simply return. Okay. This is one task for you. Print the data in zigzag format. Actually, in a level traversal, you print the data in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Similarly, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. But I need to print the data in zigzag manner. First, print 5, then print 10, 15, then followed by 30, 35, 30, 25, 20, followed by 40, 45. This question asked in many interviews, product company interviews. Okay. Output should be 5, 10, 15, 35, 30, 25, 20, 40, 45. This is the printing the data in jigsaw format. Actual level format is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 and 45. So this is a task for you. We will meet in the next class.